Born in Tembisa.
Place where people speak good English.
Yeah, to a teenage mom. She was 15. My dad had just finished matric. At some point, I remember wearing uniform with my mom, because obviously when I was born, she had to stop school. She was calling me out to do my homework, and I'm like, well, you need to do your homework as well, right?
We do this together.
We need to do this together, right? She matriculated in the same year as me, man.
That's actually so different, man.
Yeah. So that's the wildness of my story, Yeah. There's probably a million things my dad said that were good that did not help me in the time when I was alone, I always describe his absence as a soccer match. We spent I think probably 2 months or 3 months, bro, with a court case for a couch.
90,000 rand.
90,000 rand couch, bro.
Where was this, bro? Where are you living?
Auckland Park.
Wow, okay.
Auckland Park, bro. It's crazy.
Welcome to Complex Humanity. My name is Danny Vambili, and I'm your host for the day when we get to speak to our heroes and just find out how being a human being can be extremely complex. Today with me is not just a young man, a young dad, a young husband, a young brother who I first knew as a Christian rapper. When I met him, we're very skinny. He's still skinny, but his beard was very black. And we were just youngsters who were trying to put out the gospel in a way that was not necessarily known at that time. But today I have him on the show as a podcaster, as a pastor. And I don't know if it's just youth pastoring or also with the adults now.
Yeah.
But I've chosen not to ask him those questions off camera so we can have a real conversation on camera. Ladies and gentlemen, Black Newborn.
Hey, man. Brother, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Such a great intro. You'd swear I paid you for that?
There?
So thanks, man. Thanks for having me here, bro. It's been a while since we sat down and chopped it up,
It's been years.
Yeah. So I was just like, man, let's kill two birds with one stone. And in fact, that's what we've been doing. Killing the first bird before we started recording, just catching up.
Our off-camera conversations, guys. If only we could, make you guys taste it.
Sure.
Just a little bit,
Sure.
But I actually want to start from the start.
Yeah, man.
I think even off-camera, I found out things about you today that I didn't know, and I chose not to go through your podcast to find out.
Sure.
Who are you? Who's black? What did they name you at birth?
Yeah, sure.
Where were you born?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's take it all the way back, man. So born in Tembisa, so that's the east of Johannesburg. Born and raised there. Born to
the place where people speak good English.
Yeah, sure. Come on now. We don't know. We had Mzagazega. Mzagazega didn't speak English, so.
Then you have Emma. Every time I meet like a poet who's hitting the English of the Queen.
1632.
They're like, hi, I know. I'm from Tembisa.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Even my own wife was raised at the corner of Tembisa there, Olifantsfontein. And you've heard her English, guys.
Sure. Maybe there's something in the water, man.
There's something there, guys.
So born and raised there, man. To a teenage mom. She was 15 when she had me. My dad had just finished matric, so he was 20. So I think he finished the previous year, so he wasn't supposed to go to his first year in varsity. And it was just such a cool upbringing, man, till today, I'm like, man, me and my parents grew up together.
Wow.
At some point, I remember wearing uniform with my mom when I was in grade 1, because obviously when I was born, she had to stop school, went back, I think probably like flunked twice. But anyway, by the time she was in matric, I was in grade 1. And she would walk me to catch my transport to school, and she was wearing uniform. So
wow.
it was like, I mean, it wasn't confusing for me. She was my mom, and
Yeah.
she wore uniform, you know. And I remember this one time, she was calling me out to do my homework, and I'm like, "Well, you need to do your homework as well, right?
We could do this together.
We need to do this together, right?" And maybe just a tangent on that. So I think at that point she was just like, "Man, this is not cool. Let me stop school." My dad was like, "Yeah, anyway, stop school. I'll look after you." And fast forward, when I was in matric, my mom was like, "Man, I'm not gonna let you matriculate before me." So we did our matric together.
Oh, wow. Are you serious?
Yeah. So when I matriculated, we did our matric year together. So she was like, "Man, I'm going back doing my matric," and she matriculated in the same year as me, man.
Wow.
So
That's actually so different, man.
yeah. So that's the wildness of my story, you know.
Yeah.
And I was born and raised there, and started my primary school in Kempton Park. So went to Kempton Park Primary, and then later on went to a school in Benoni. That's where I did my high school.
Your high school.
Yeah. So I mean, there's more.
Did your parents at some point get married?
They were, yeah.
Wow.
So they got married when I was 5. Yeah. So I think when I turned 5 or I was 4, they got married. And we just, man, it was just a cool time for me to grow up with both my parents, particularly my dad, you know. I look like the dude till today, you know, exactly like him. And just looked up to him, and he was just the hero, you know. So it was presently
what did he
there.
do for a living? Was he
My dad, so he did a couple of things. So when I was born, couldn't find a job because he was supposed to go to school but didn't. So we had like these houses in the hood where people gambled, you know. So the whole 4-room, it's typical township 4-room house, but like each room is like a gambling room, you know. But it was like older dudes that would be there. So my dad comes in, 20-year-old, and he's literally playing you know, games with these guys just so that he can provide nappies for me.
Oh,
you know, so he would gamble, win, come give my mother money for milk and nappies. Anyway, I think the next year he got a job through his uncle, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
And so he worked for I'm not sure what they were, but they were a big company that did a couple of things called Bayer. So they produced chemicals for different companies. They did stuff with Simba at some point. They did and it was a bunch of stuff. Not really sure what their core business was, but he started working there.
So more like manufacturing of different things.
Yeah. But he was there for like, man, I think his whole working career until he transitioned into education, which was later on. And so he was there, kind of moved up the ranks, you know, earned a very good living for himself, provided for us very well, took us to good schools. And yeah, he was there, man. My dad was there.
Was he a godly parent? Was the house a safe environment?
Yeah, it was, bro. You know, maybe just to backtrack a bit. So they get married, or rather, I'm born, live at my grandmother's house. That's my mother's parents. So we're living in a back room. That's my mother's back room, you know. I mean, it's like township culture. When you get a back room, that means you've like grown up, you know. Yeah. So you're an adult now. You need to move out of the house. Yeah. Plus, my grandparents had like, I think 12 or 11 kids. Sure. So to also just accommodate and have space. So we lived in my mother's room. I don't know how many years, but then there was a piece of land that was open. It's called Winnie Mandela now. Okay. And there were like informal settlements there. And we were like one of the first 5 families to move there. And so we moved from the back room, moved into, you know, shack. My grandfather provided materials for us to do that. And then from that shack, we moved into a garage, somebody's garage. From that garage, we moved into a 4-room house, you know. So I remember when my parents purchased that, like, it was a thing, man. We prayed together about it, you know. We're like, man, we're finally going to have our own space. And so we bought this 4-room house. And it was 90, 95, I think. For 32,000, bro.
For
The
32,000.
house was for 32
4 bedroom.
4 bedrooms, bro. No, it was four rooms. Four rooms. So it was 2 bedrooms, a kitchen and a living room.
Sure.
But like a big yard that you can extend and put stuff, put other rooms, put a garage, etc., etc. So yeah, so that was like our first official house, 95. So this was obviously after 94.
This is postman, just after Mandela's out.
Yeah. Had some really meaningful conversations with my dad around that time in that house, So I was born Mlungisi Lewis. Those were my 2 names.
Okay.
And so I remember in 95, my dad sitting me down and saying to me, "We're going to have to drop your English name." And I was like, "Cool, man. I don't know. It's you, the dad, And he's like, "Man, it's important for identity to know who we are, where we come from, where we're going, And then he asked me in my little brain, "How many of the white kids in your school have black names?" And I was like, "Well, none of them." And he's like, "Well, we're not going to have a white name. We were forced to have white names before, and you were born around that era.
Things have changed now.
Things have changed. We're dropping that name. You're just going to have one name." I was like, "Cool, man." And that was the first time I was also just conscientized about my blackness and the history of our country, etc., etc. And so we dropped my English name, quote unquote Christian name, and I just had one name ever since. So yeah. So my dad was there, man. Yeah, godly guy. Took us to church, prayed with us. Taught us about God. We didn't know anything about Jesus. And we knew Jesus was God's son, but like how he fits into the picture,
not really the salvation story.
Nah, we're, at best, we're very moralistic. Respect people, don't do wrong things, respect your elders, but not taught about grace, not taught about God's mercy or anything like that, So it was very like black and white.
Yeah.
And I thrived in that kind of environment, And again, my dad just instilled rules. And not in any harsh way. My dad would explain everything, even how he disciplined me, So I was a naughty kid, man, but he would like pull me in.
Son, this is why you're getting the spanking.
He would, he would, man, and he would explain what justice is. This is what justice is. If you commit a crime, so what did you do now? I remember I broke my grandmother's cup. So you broke a grandmother's cup, belt, my hand, or you're gonna find a tree branch, and I'd obviously look for the smallest
yourself.
one. Then he's like, "Nah, you probably need a belt."
These parents, you come there, you've been particular, you're making sure the stick looks like it can do damage, but not really. And they just like, "Nah, do you want me to go myself?"
Yeah.
I didn't want my mom to go herself, bro.
Yeah.
Because then she'll find like a
proper
one. So you must balance. So that means you really had a real South African upbringing. I
did, yeah.
How did that change? And at what age did that change?
Yeah, age 15, man. Age 15. And maybe to not even say it, I think my experience became more South African at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you actually had both parents.
I had both parents, and I was the only kid with both parents in my whole street.
Oh man,
I was the only kid with both parents.
Sad statement,
That's crazy, bro. Yeah. But I didn't realize that it was a bad thing for the other kids not to have their dads. I just knew I had my dad.
Yeah.
And so what we also had at my house was like a drum majorettes club. And so all the other kids would come to my house. And I saw how they admired my dad, but I just thought, because my dad I've always admired him, I want to grow up and be like him. But I didn't realize, man, they go back home and they live with their grandmothers or uncles or aunts, and some of them with their moms, but most of them, if not all of them, did not have fathers that they knew, So for me, it was like, and so I again, only kid in my streets and probably in my larger community, and then in my extended family, there's people who knew their dads, but they didn't live with their dads. And then it was like probably like cousins who lived very far who had both parents. But just in my immediate environment and existence, man, yeah, I was the only one, bro. And then age 15, fast forward, then my dad leaves.
Sure.
He leaves, man, like day and night, you know.
Were they fighting? Was there a problem in their marriage, or?
I think if I'm honest, bro, you know, we just had more money.
Okay.
If I'm honest, you know.
Yeah.
So again, came from very humble beginnings. And I remember my grandfather from my mom's side saying, he's a bit worried that if we ever come into money, things might change. And we're like, well, never. Like my dad will never flip on us. You know, my husband will never flip on me, etc., etc. And at least that's what I'm seeing. My dad might have other reasons for why he flipped. He still hasn't told me till today. I've asked him. He hasn't told me. So he might have his own reasons why he flipped. I don't know. But where I was sitting, things were okay, man. We were fine, you know. And at that point, had moved out of the hood as well, moved to the burbs, and things were progressing. Money was good, and we had more money than we've ever had in our lives, and it was significant amount of money, you know. And at that point, my little sister was born as well. And so we're like, man, this is stuff we've always spoken about, stuff we've prayed about, stuff we've dreamt about. And here we are now. We're going to live the life that we've always been building and dreaming, you know, towards. And yeah, it just flipped, bro. Literal day and night. I went to school in the morning, came back. There were white people at my house. My dad was selling everything.
Sure.
You know, Ringo CDs were sold.
Oh my goodness. The CDs are gone.
CDs were gone, dog. I remember Ringo had that song, Booyah Banda. I was like, man, it's cold right now, dog.
Oh my goodness.
You know?
Speaking of Ringo CDs, that's probably the most South African artist you could actually have at home.
Yeah.
So when my wife was overseas, she found herself like listening to Ringo.
Yeah.
She said, I missed Hope so much.
Yeah.
I was jamming Ringo.
Sure.
So hearing you say that, oh my goodness.
Yeah, man.
Sure. Like, so how does that change a young Black's life? I mean, you've had your dad there. Everyone is there at your house.
Yeah.
Other children are coming.
Yeah.
Next thing, it's all gone.
It's all gone, man. But, you know, I'm contrary to what people might think of me. I'm a super introvert. You know, like proper. I thrive alone.
Oh wow!
That's where
I wouldn't have said. I would. I mean, I've seen you on stage. You're a wild man.
Yeah.
This guy preaches like a wild man. Invite him to preach. You know, so you're an introvert.
Yeah, no, proper, man. Like proper. And to illustrate it, I'll give you a short story. There's close friends of ours that we've been journeying with for probably like 11, 12 years now. It's a couple. And the first time we went on holiday together as a group, we went, got a friend of ours has a uncle who has a farm, so we all went to the farm and we were all there. You know, it's probably, let me say, like 8 years ago now. And so we get to the farm, everybody unpacks, we all get into our rooms, you know. Anyway, who's gonna cook, who's gonna do what, roster stuff. It's cool. We get groceries, sit down, and day 2 happens, you know. Normal things, we're eating, whatever, enjoying our time. Day 3, day 4, they pull my wife to the side. Or it was probably like day 3. They're like, is Black okay? Like, did we do something to him? Like, he's super quiet, whatever. My wife is like, oh, smack. Like,
you don't know.
If he's quiet, that means he's enjoying you guys.
Oh, my goodness.
if he's quiet, that like you guys are safe.
Oh, my
You guys are a safe space. But if you find him just yapping around, he's losing his mind.
Oh, my goodness.
He's feeling like, you know. So
I would have never said.
So when I'm alone, man, like, and just in solitude, in quiet spaces, I'm just like, you know. So
did this probably start during that time?
Nah, it was always there. So I was also, again, like the only kid till I was 9.
Okay.
and my sister was born when I was 9. And I didn't even spend a lot of time with my little sister because, again, so I'm 9, she's born. We kind of in this transition, moving houses, and she's getting into new school. So I'm there kind of with her, but she's a kid, So by the time I'm 15, so she's probably like 6 or so, this thing happens. And then obviously we have to split. She goes and lives with my dad. I live with my mom. Or she lived with us at some point, but when she was 8 or so, she had to go live with my dad. So I didn't even spend time with her that much. So I'm growing up alone, most of my time. But I say all of this to say, now when my dad leaves, my mom is like, man, maybe we need to talk about what has happened. I'm like, nah, I'm fine. I'm cool. And I genuinely didn't think there was anything wrong, man. I thought I was fine, until varsity. So when I got to university first year, I remember thinking, and it just was a thought that popped in my head, I'm just going to be everything my dad wasn't.
Yeah.
Not realizing that I'm defining myself by my dad and not defining myself by who I am, and what God has created me to be. And it was fair because my dad has always been my reference, So now I'm like, okay, I'm in varsity, I'm independent. How am I going to navigate this part of my life? If my dad was around, I'd ask him, but he's not here. So let me do everything he didn't do, So my dad didn't drink, doesn't smoke, when he lived with us, didn't cheat on my mom. So then I was like, man, I'm going to do everything.
Goodness.
I'm going to smoke, I'm going to drink, I'm going to sleep with anyone,
When people say, I'm going to do everything my dad did not do,
yeah,
it's normally from the positive life.
Yeah.
So you're like, hey, everything he did, which was also the good things, still led to our home splitting.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly what I concluded.
Oh my!
I'm like, if my dad could be a quote unquote morally good guy,
wow,
and our family still breaks up, wow, then what's the point, bro? Let me go the opposite direction, and maybe I won't break up my family. Which is also it's warped, because how do you build a family from a foundation like that of having to sleep around, just plastering yourself in alcohol, smoking whatever is smokable. How are you going to build a family from that, But so again, I'm acting from hurt. I'm acting from a lack of my dad's presence. He's not there to give me the answers that I'm asking for, So it was.
But don't you think this is where young boys struggle? Because we find ourselves dealing with things that we don't comprehend.
Yeah.
And the decision, like your decision was, I'm going to do everything my father didn't do.
Yeah.
My decision was, I'm going to find a role model and I'm going to model after him. Now, my role model was DMX. Yeah.
Sure.
So everything DMX did, that was my dad now,
Yeah.
And you as a young boy, you're not even realizing that the way you're choosing to medicate is bad. All you know is you actually need to medicate.
Medicate, bro. Yeah.
And there's a problem here.
Yeah.
So
hundreds, bro.
How do we, as you even tell your story, I'm like, how do we even fix that?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's precisely in what you said, finding role models, but not just role models who will be present, We again, there's probably a million things my dad said that were good.
Okay.
That did not help me in the time when I was alone, I always describe his absence, as a soccer match. First 15 years, he's training me how to play the game. And is there, I'm seeing him play the game. He loves my mother. He's not just telling me he loves us. He's not just telling me he loves my mom. But I see him love my mom. I see him come home from work. I see him pray with us when we sleep. I see him getting on 4 taxis so that we can go to work before he could buy a car. I see him pray. I see him save. I see him work hard. I see him get a car. So I'm seeing all these things. There's many other things my dad said that I'm like, yeah, they were good. life building, but it's more the things he did that I remembered. So that's why now when I'm in varsity, I'm not thinking, what did my dad say that I'm gonna say now or not say, but I'm like, what he did not do, that's what I'm gonna do. So he didn't smoke, he didn't drink. Oh, actions. He didn't cheat him. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna, So I think having role models that are present, so somebody that you're gonna walk with, I always say to guys, it's one thing for us to say, let's have young men around us, let's speak positively to them, but it's a whole other ball game if you're gonna bring that young man into your house. He must see how you talk to your wife. He must see how you put your kids to bed. He must see you on the 25th of the month when your SMS goes off and FNB is like, yo, you paid, right? He must see your excitement and then see how troubled you look 5 days later when the debit orders are going out. He must see how you wrestle with budgeting. He must see all of that stuff. It's one thing to tell him all these things. That's good. But I'm like, man, you need to bring him closer, Probably, I'm not sure. Again, Nigeria is a big country. They're big. They have multiple cultures, but there's a friend of mine who's Nigerian who told me about this apprenticeship culture that they have, which is kind of like what Jesus has with the disciples. So instead of me going to study engineering after school, I go live with an engineer. Instead of me going to study law, I live with a lawyer, and I do law with them. So when they go to courts, I'm there with them. The engineers on site, I'm there with them. So I'm learning from them how to do this particular job, as opposed to going. And there's nothing wrong with education, but I think there's more that we learn and get when we see people doing stuff, and they call us as well to implement things as we go. You know what I mean?
When you're talking, what I'm hearing is manhood.
Sure.
Because I believe the school system, the way it's currently built, accommodates the woman's way of thinking a bit more.
Sure.
And we're not saying there's anything wrong with school, but we as men learn by watching. You can teach us all you want.
Yep.
I mean, you had your father the first 15 years, but at some point you're like, wait, what did you do?
What did you do?
And if what you did harmed me, then you've just taught me what to not do.
Sure.
So whether it's good or bad, I'm doing the opposite because I want a different outcome.
Yep. Totally.
But now in your case, and now with youth, their lack of wisdom, and you are doing the exact thing that will end up breaking up your own family, not knowing, but you're medicating pain. And I believe we have misjudged boys.
Sure.
Especially when we find them medicating.
Yeah.
One of the hardest parts of my life, and I've spoken about this some way, was just recognizing that even the things we think we know about men comes from women just because they're willing to talk.
To talk about the thing, sure.
You get me?
Sure.
So we can't even blame them like, okay, they're talking for us or they're telling our story. The thing is, we don't tell our own story. So in that vacuum, the voice that's there will become the narrative.
Yep.
But when you look at the boys and what they're doing, sometimes when you sit down with a young boy who's rebelling, and if I sat down with you or we together could just go back in time and really sit down with Black and say, bro, what's going on? What would come out of you would be so different from the actions that you were doing then. We could have labeled you, hey, the guy's a drunkard, he's a womanizer, he's a weed head, a crackhead. But the truth is, you were just a young boy hurting.
Yeah, totally, bro. And maybe to even pedal back, in high school, I didn't get up to any of that mischief. And I'll tell you why. And I'm reminded now because of the point that you raised about young men. So what school will do is they'll, all this pent up energy that boys have. If we would divide boys into two broad categories, warriors and poets, right? Warriors would normally be boys who are more physical. you know. So the school will take care of all that pent up energy by sending them into the rugby field, cricket field, or the soccer field. And I would even say to young boys, you know, do that stuff beyond school. You know, so if you're a warrior, find a soccer club at home, find a rugby club where you stay, whatever. Because if you leave all that pent up energy, it's going to come out in other ways that are not constructive, you know. But the school system doesn't cater necessarily for the poet, because the poet is dudes like me, right?
Sure.
Who will write, who will rap, who, you know, more artistically gifted. And so for boys like me who don't want to get into the rugby field or whatever, the thing that helped me is I just went to the library and chewed rappers for a living. That's what I did, right? Wow. So that was my sports. My sports was battle rap, right?
Wow.
And I realize now I didn't have time to think about all the stuff that my dad did or whatever. And when my mom was trying to sit me down to say, hey, let's talk about stuff, I didn't feel like I needed to talk about that thing because I was actually taking out all of this energy somewhere else, you know? So that's every day, every day, bro, after school, we'd go to the library and there would be a bunch of high schools around there and we'd just be rapping from hoppers to, you know, all the way to like 6 o'clock at night. Wow. And we just rapping. Another rapper comes in the cypher. Battle. Okay, maybe let's do a cypher with everybody who's rapping. Okay, let's change the formats. It's a one-on-one, you know. Yeah. Man, okay, cool. This kid killed me today. I'm coming back tomorrow with better raps, you know?
Yeah.
And throughout high school, that's what I did. You know, I did that throughout high school, man. And I think that kept
that
me.
Sounds like so much fun.
It is, bro. Oh, it was amazing, man.
Sure.
It was amazing, man. And that's why I'm realizing the Warriors had all the other like sports activities, all this other extracurricular activity that the school system provided for, you know. But I realized, man, the poets struggled quite a lot. Because we didn't really know where to fit in. We, you know, if your school had a poetry club, sure, but even that, I would say, man, find that even after school or outside of school, because you need that, especially as a young man, to keep you going. Because you know, teenage stage is such a weird stage, man. Because you're not a kid anymore, but you're not an adult yet, and so you're trapped in this weird phase where, you know, you
must almost act like you know, but deep down you don't know. Yeah,
you don't, bro. But sure. and the world is expecting you to kind of step up, and you know, probably 3-4 generations before us, you could, because the world was set up for that. You know, when people were getting married younger, they'd go to work earlier, etc., etc. But for us, it was like, man, we expecting you to be an adult when you in your 20s. So what do we do now with you here? You know, sure. But I think for us, we found those kind of outlets, man. And I would encourage young boys to do that now. So when I got to varsity, I didn't battle rap anymore. When I got to varsity now, I am an adult.
No, I'm seeing that.
You know what I mean? So now I'm like, there's a vacuum. There's a vacuum.
Yeah.
So how am I going to fill the stuff? I'm not going to pull Danny now from the lecture hall and be like, man, I need to battle you so that I could get all this pent up energy out of me, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now what are we going to do? Well, we're going to go sit and talk.
Yeah.
Okay. I love talking because I used to battle rap. So I have words for days. Talk. Yeah, I don't want to have that kind of conversation. Okay, so it's hard to actually have constructive conversations with people here. What do people normally do? Well, they just drink. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke because my dad didn't do that. I didn't have time to drink and smoke in high school. In fact, no, man. Let me do that now, Vele. That's what I'm going to fill my life with. In fact, Vele, that's, you know, look at how my dad turned out. So now it's like, okay, cool. Bro, and for the next 3 years in varsity, those were dark days for me, man. Yeah. Those were dark days. I mean, I hated the school I went to for many other reasons, but I also hated that time just because of where I was mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And first year, so my parents separated when I'm 15, but first year of varsity, they officially divorced.
Sure.
So I start my first year, they signing divorce papers, you know, and it's...
So that's almost cementing the reality that...
Yeah.
They're never coming back.
They're never coming back, bro. You know? And again, it's like the thing that was like a mind trip, my dad was there physically, 15 years, hard, every day, to like not see him at all. You know? He'd pass by, when he's like, "Oh, I just brought like bread or whatever," you know, and I'm like, "I don't care about your bread. I need you," right?
Yeah.
So that was the trip, man. It's like, oh, smart. Like
Why is it that he chose to, or they as parents chose to let your sister stay with him and you with your mother? Did they
probably a
ever explain
personality
that
thing.
to
No,
you?
it was a personality thing. My sister's strong-willed. You know, till today, my sister's very strong-willed. My mom and I are the same.
Okay.
Like we very chilled about life, and it's probably sometimes too chilled to our own detriment and those around us.
Yeah.
So my mother just couldn't cope
With your sister.
with my sister's personality, and you know, and she's a kid, but like, man, my sister was born large, bro. Like, you know, she's just as a kid. Even now, I'm like, I don't remember a time my sister couldn't speak.
Oh,
Like, I think she came out of the womb speaking, man. Like, but she fills the room with her personality, and me and my mom are just like, you know,
Did this ever make you feel maybe some form of rejection?
from
Because suddenly your father is full time with her
yeah.
and not with you.
Nah, not really, bro. I didn't feel rejected by it. It was for me. It was a practical thing. So I'm like, my sister has to go stay with my dad, because my dad again is the disciplinarian. You know, reinforces rules.
Okay.
So my mother.
So
was
you
like,
seeing
hey,
it like, okay, no, if she's there, it'll be
Yeah.
better for her.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
better for my mom, better for her. You know, my dad reinforces rules. And so maybe that's what and I think that's what my sister did need. You know,
Okay.
she needed a dad more, especially in a split situation. She did need somebody who's gonna restrain her personality more. I needed somebody who's gonna champion and so that's my mom. You know,
Yeah.
like, yeah, me and my mom have a very, man, it's a very like, I think all relationships with parents and kids are unique, but like we have a very deep love, but we've never hugged, like, ever, you know, and we know that. And like, my mother's a thug, man. I always describe her as a thug, you know. She has like a gangster love, man, you know. And
Like you've never hugged till this very day.
yeah, I don't think my mother hugs my wife and hugs my, you know,
Wow.
my kid. I think we've hugged like once, but even then, it's just like, even the thought for both of us.
On your wedding day, eh?
I don't know, bro. I don't think so, bro.
Sure. Okay.
I think the thought even is like weird for both of us, but like, my mother would take 500 bullets for me, man. And I would jump in front of a bazooka for that woman, you know?
Sure.
And we know that. Like, we know that there's like a very quiet, deep love that we have for each other that's displayed in physical affection, you know, but it's displayed in like presence. It's displayed in wanting the best for each other, you know? So if I ever had a hype woman, it was my mom.
It's your mom.
My mom was my hype woman, man. I remember in grade 2, again, coming from very humble beginnings, but you go to school with like super rich kids, you know, and CVs. We have to wear home clothes. Pay $5, you wear home clothes. I'm like, man, I know these punks are gonna come to school in Jordans, bro. I know, bro, you know? And I'm like, man.
Can we just remove the CVs thing, you know?
But
Let's all be in uniform.
It's, when we walked in, you were like, man, you know, you're commenting on my style.
Yeah.
And I think part of that came, partly, I think it's genetic because of my mom, but it's also circumstantial. Because then in grade 2, I'm like, man, like, and we had awards for best dressed. I'm like, man, these kids are gonna come with Jordans. They're gonna kill me, right? And I don't want to be the kid who wears school uniform, because that's also like, man, it's gonna single me out.
Yeah.
So I don't know where we got the suit from, dog, but we had a black suit, dog, right? So me, my dad, my mom, we like tailoring this thing that week. We're making it look sharp, dog, you know?
What?
And at that time, Man in Black had just come out.
What?
So there I am, dog. Black pants, black shoes, black jacket, black tie, white shirt, black Ray-Bans. Man in Black clean.
Made from home, bro.
Yeah. So I pulled through, bro. I think it's grade 2, grade 3, bro. I pulled through to school. If you had Jordans, forget it, dog. No one was caring about your Jordans, dog.
No.
I'm rocking a black suit, dog, in grade 2, bro. I look like Will Smith in Men in Black. and it's clean, tailored proper.
Sure.
I was like, man, that was like one of my biggest flex. But that gave me confidence.
Sure.
And my mom, man, hype women for days. You know, she's like, man, you best dressed, you killing it.
Oh,
blah, 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 hyping me.
So you walking in there, you feeling yourself.
I'm like, don't play games with me, dog. Yeah. and that's just been our relationship, you know.
Sure.
So if
but
I
bro,
would,
that says a lot, man.
Yeah.
Because anyone who knows you knows black guys, black.
Yeah.
If you don't know this man, just look at him now. He's all black, but the chains are saying something, you know? So we know you for the fashion. So, man, to connect that to your mom and just this experience says a lot
man.
about that connection between you guys.
No, it's a deep one, bro. Yeah.
I mean, now I know.
She would not let me leave the house looking like a clown, bro.
Wow.
I would not let her leave the house looking like a clown as well.
So it's both ways.
It's both ways, bro.
Oh my goodness.
If till today, bro, if my mom looks fly or she's going somewhere, bro, she'll take pictures or make sure she calls me. Or if I see her the next time, she's like, let me tell you how I was destroying the game, bro.
Oh,
and
I got this, guys.
So,
man.
So that's us, man. Like our love for looking good, for clothes. And not like we hate expensive clothes. Like we hate expensive clothes because it's just like
expensive clothes are such a cop out. You know, someone wants to just have like a name thing there, you know, and now it's not put together. You're not really matching the colors, you know. Sure. Like,
man.
How do you go from, you know, I'm partying, in booze, self-medicating the wrong way, to the man we know today? How does that even happen?
Bro, you know, simple, straightforward answers. Jesus found me, and I'll definitely have to elaborate on how that happened.
Okay.
But yeah, the short of it, man, like, the Lord found me, man, and pulled me out of mud. And I think,
are you not fighting the idea of Jesus in?
I was in high school.
You know, when you're a youth, you think, hey, church. You see, the grannies were the ones going to church.
No, for real.
How do you even accept that?
I have such a weird relationship with the Lord before, you know, him finding me proper. Because in high school, I knew that church gave me stability.
Okay.
Because my dad took us to church when I was in primary school, when he was still in my life. You know, again, very moralistic, didn't know anything about Jesus. But like church was a good thing. You have to go to church. And so 15, dad leaves. I'm kind of in the wilderness. And I was in grade 9. So then in grade 10, I'm in a group of friends. We all kind of find each other in the school. It's a weird story, but I won't get into it. So we all kind of find each other and we like the weirdos of the school.
Yeah.
But then one of our friends' parents go to a church in Benoni. So I was like, man, let's rock with you every Sunday. But I knew that like that thing's gonna give me stability, you know. And so I went to church with him. But bear in mind, like at the school library, or rather it was a community public library. At the public library, when we battling and rapping, man, I'm saying all foul things about Jesus.
Sure.
You know? Like DMX is your role model. I'm listening to dudes like Cannabis. I'm listening to Immortal Technique. I'm listening to Necrophiliac. I'm listening to, you know, Army of the Pharaohs. Like all these underground rappers, bro. And there's a common thread with underground rappers. Jesus is white, he's homosexual, and he's a devil.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the picture we have of Jesus. And so Sunday, I'm sitting, you know, raise hands, hallelujah, Jesus, Jesus. Monday to Friday, like we don't believe in this guy, you know. And in fact, in the ciphers, if you were a Christian or you said you believed in Jesus, man, that would be a weak point for you. You're the target,
You're
right?
the target there.
And we coming for your neck.
Yeah.
Because how could you believe in a white homosexual devil if you're black and you smart, you know? And that's the thing that we kind of you know, prided ourselves with, in those ciphers. Like you had to be smart, you had to read. Like we were eating the thesaurus and dictionary like it was, so to expand our vocabulary. And the crazy thing is we didn't cuss.
Wow.
So you didn't cuss because it was like, man, that's a cheap way.
You're actually reminding me of a time when hip hop, we kind of saw cussing as a cop out.
Yeah.
You're just putting it there because you didn't have a word.
You didn't have
rhymes.
an adjective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now let me just put the F-bomb there.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. For us, it was like, and then we would
I still feel the same.
No, for real.
I still feel the same.
For real.
I'll listen to a rapper. I'm like, nah, dude. You
you didn't
give
have
us
to.
Popeye.
Come on, yeah.
Give us meat.
Use your words, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Come on, right?
Sure.
So I couldn't reconcile those two worlds until I think like late high school. So you reconcile it by saying maybe, like Jesus was black, the real Jesus, not the Jesus that we learn about at church, etc., 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 etc. Anyway, so church was still there. And then I get to varsity, go in this crazy stint, all the way till the end of my varsity. So this is, I graduated 2010. So in 2010, the first match of the 2010 World Cup.
Yeah.
I'm coming from church and I go to my grandmother's house and I'm with my friend and we're waiting for the match to start. Aunts are going to cook. My uncles are going to bring alcohol, whatever. So before the aunts bring the food, the uncles are like, let's start drinking. So I'm popping stuff on an empty stomach.
Hey.
Pass out. And just like horribly embarrassing. My family didn't even know I drink at that point because I'm the first one to go to varsity.
Oh, wow.
Or my aunt went to varsity. She graduated as a teacher. But I was like, out of our generation, I'm the first one to go to university. So they don't think I drink. They don't think I smoke. But man, they find cigarettes. I'm passed out. My dad had to be called in, because my mom was just like, I'm not dealing with this kid. And so that kind of like begins a spiral. Like all the 3 years of me like going crazy is now being exposed to my family, So people I didn't know in varsity, I didn't care. Like, I don't know, Danny, I don't know you. We just met you here, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But now my family's like, man, like you're supposed to be quote unquote our golden kid. Like
and
now,
firstborn.
Yeah. Firstborn, bro. and now you wilding out,
Sure.
So then fast forward, we at a friend's flat, and we're drinking, there's girls, and it's a very like, bro, it's like this room is big. The room we're in is massive.
Wow.
Small, bro. And so now we're like, oh, how are we gonna sleep here? Because there's one bed and there's like probably 15 of us or whatever. There's a couch outside by the escalators. So I'm like, man, let's go get the couch, bring the couch in here. It's been there for months. We don't know who it belongs to. If it belongs to anybody who lives in this apartment building, then we'll just take it out and give it to them. But it's been there for months.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, we go get the couch in. We like shove it into the door. Couch is there. We sleep, wake up. The next morning we left. All the boys left. And we were probably doing more stupid things. On our way back, we get a call. There's cops. And the cops are taking the girls.
What?
And we like, oh, okay, why? The cops say, meet them at the police station if you want to know why. So we like, okay, just tell them we're coming now to the flat. They mustn't leave the flat. We run to the flat, get there. The security guard is like, no, they've already left. Hey. So now we go to the Brixton police station. Get to the Brixton police station and we go in, tell them where we're from. There's girls who were arrested. And the cops said if we come in, they'll release the girls. So the cops are like, before we go get the girls, this is an exchange, by the way. Right? So you guys are going in, the girls are going out.
Oh, wow.
We're like, okay, that's fine. We're not worried. Nothing, we didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the girls get released. We get then in, and then they're like, okay, before we take you to the holding cells, you guys are being arrested for theft. Theft Oh, theft for what? Of a couch.
Oh my
And
goodness.
we didn't steal the couch. So now we all like, oh man, it's easy. We didn't steal the couch, you know?
Yeah.
This isn't even the couch is in the apartment. If you come back to the apartment with us, we'll
give
get
it
it.
to you. Yeah.
Nope. The owner's here. The owner says, you guys stole it. And he wants to open a case.
Oh
so now we're
goodness.
like, oh, smack. So then they like, okay, who carried the couch? All my friends raise their hands. I don't raise my hand. And then the cops are like, why aren't you raising your hand? I'm like, I didn't carry the couch.
Yeah.
So what are you doing here? I was there the whole night. What did you do? I was directing the guys. Oh, Mr. Director.
Yeah.
Bruh. Yeah, you're the leader, Mr. Director. And then the next thing that happens, insane, they like, leave. So I'm like, I can leave. Did you touch the couch? I didn't touch the couch.
Yeah.
Did you carry it? I didn't carry it. You can leave. I'm like, this is insane, bro.
This is something else.
So I leave, and fast forward, story is long. My friends get arrested, bro.
What?
For 2 counts. For theft and malicious damage. Because when we brought the couch in, we scraped it.
Oh my goodness.
Turns out the couch is 90,000 Rand, bro. It's a 90,000 Rand couch. The guy had left it in the escalators, by the escalators, because he was waiting for a crane
to pull it up
from outside the building to take it to his penthouse at the top, bro.
Oh my goodness.
90K, bro. So now we spend I think probably 2 months or 3 months, bro, of a court case for a couch.
90,000 Rand.
90,000 Rand couch, bro.
Where was this, bro? Where were you living?
Auckland Park.
Auckland Park.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Auckland Park, bro. It's crazy. So now it's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
A court case for a couch. It's ridiculous. Nah? Sure. So we go. I'm a witness. So I'm constantly going to Brixton Magistrate Court, bro, week after week, so that I could be on the stand to explain what happened with this 90,000 Rand couch. Anyway, so they get off on 1 count, which is theft. So they couldn't prove theft because we didn't steal it. And we said the couch is there. And there wasn't any intent for us to keep the thing.
Yeah.
But then they couldn't get off on the
damage.
The damage.
Yeah.
Till today, they have a criminal record, bro.
Are you serious?
For damaging a 90. And your criminal record doesn't say what you've done.
Yeah.
It just says you have a criminal record, bro. I remember when the last day of the court case happened, I was walking to North to catch a taxi. And it's at that point, I was like, man, if there's a Jesus somewhere there, you need to find me now because I'm spiraling. If there's a God who saves, I've heard of Christians saying God saves, lives change. My dad is not around. My mother's finally seen the facade that I drink, I smoke, I do, crazy stuff. My family knows I'm not a golden boy, like if there's a God somewhere out there, like now I was, again, the poetry in the thing. You were gonna get a criminal record for a couch. Right? So you're not even that thuggish enough to be a gangster to do something that's so malicious. You were gonna get arrested for a couch. The joke, right?
Oh, man.
So I was like, man, if there's a God somewhere, find me now, because I'm spiraling. Like, this can't be me for the rest of my life, man.
Yeah.
And shout outs to my friend Kaya. Kaya has been praying for me these 3 years, bro. So I would get drunk, look for a place to sleep, and Kaya would open up his home. There'd be like a group of us drunk. Kaya would just say, man, only black can come into my house. And at first, I didn't care, just as long as I had a place to sleep, Kaya would like set up, a mattress on the floor for me, and wake up with a babalas, and he'd give me breakfast. And he's an amazing cook, give me breakfast. Little did I know that when I'm dosing on the floor, Kaya's praying over me, man.
Oh my goodness. So this is like literally, if I make my bed in hell,
yeah,
there you are with me.
Yeah.
Drunk and all.
Yeah, bro. I'm finished. Kaya's a Christian at that point, doesn't drink, doesn't party like me. But he opens his home for me, man. It's that thing we were talking about. Again, if we're going to have role models, presence, man, bring them into your home. Bring boys into your home. Take one boy, walk with him, for a couple of years. Let him see how you live, bro. That's going to be more impactful than you telling him stuff.
Yeah.
Kaya was there praying, bro. Praying. When I eventually gave my life to Jesus, which was on the internet. In fact, it wasn't even on the internet. It was on a hard drive with pirated sermons. Right?
Oh, my goodness.
A friend of mine was like, I have a bunch of sermons
There it is.
on this hard drive. Listen to the stuff. So I was like, man, took that stuff. I was munching those sermons, bro. And one night, I just heard the gospel for the first time, man. I'm a sinner. I'm broken. And I've turned my back against God, wanting to do my own thing. I've lived my life like I'm the only king. I've set the agenda of my life. And I basically said to God, like, move off. I'll do this thing myself. I've defined what good and bad is for myself, and I need a savior.
Sure.
There's no amount of good works I could do, because then I pulled my moralistic card, went to Sunday school. My dad was a preacher. I went to church. Even in high school, even though I was confused, I went to church, and it was like, yeah, none of those things are good enough for you to be accepted.
Did you just say your dad was a preacher?
He was, yeah.
Oh, man.
He was, bro.
So this means your hurt was deep, because if the preacher leaves his family...
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
The thing with my dad, bro, wasn't even like all the other things he is. It's, again, I've been trained by him to play the match of life. And when I get into the field, I look to the sidelines. My coach is not there. So it wasn't even like, oh, my dad was a good man, or my dad was. But it was just like, man, like, you were my coach, bro. And if there was anyone who taught me what being a man is, it was you.
Yeah.
And now I'm ready to be a man, and you're not there to give me notes,
Wow.
And that's the thing that cuts me till today,
Sure.
And I thought, man, I dealt with this thing, got married. I remember year 2 of my marriage. Man, I'm in the shower, bathing, and I just think of my dad, bro. And I just break down crying. For the next hour, I'm in the shower. It's just losing my mind, man. And I'm like, but I dealt with this stuff. And my heart is like, no, you didn't.
You didn't.
You didn't, bro. Your dad is your dad. You're not going to have another dad,
Yeah.
God is your father, and he's healing that wound. But you only have one earthly father. There's many other, and at that point, man, I had like a plethora of men around me who were just good Christian, loving their wives, good leaders. I was, they were pouring into me, but they're not my earthly dad. I only have one earthly father, man.
Sometimes I find that the more you realize the standard, and even the good people around you kind of actually make you see just what you didn't have,
Yeah, bro.
And even being a father yourself, you see how much you'll do for your children.
Yeah.
And it begins to highlight just what you missed out
What you
on.
missed, bro. Yeah, no, for real, bro. That hit me when we brought my kid to the house. So the first day, brought my daughter home. First of all, I thought people were going to stop us from taking her, from the hospital, because I'm like, who would let 2 clowns take a human home? So I was like, maybe one of these nurses are going to be like, oh, by the way, we're coming home with you. I'd be like, oh, thanks, because I don't know what we're doing. So we get with her, we get into the car with her, we drive to the gate, the security is not stopping us. Like, both me and my wife are like, is this happening? We're taking a human home, bro. Right? Anyway, get into the house. I look at her and I'm like, oh, I get why my dad left.
Sure.
Because this is major responsibility.
Sure. This
is heavy responsibility. I'm like, man, I'm looking at her and I'm like, everything in me says, I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to forsake you. But there's a whole other me that's saying, like, you're not capable of handling all of this, man. Like, you think you're going to bear the responsibility of like grooming, raising, training, discipling a whole human 24/7. This is not, again, somebody who sees me on stage or this is somebody who's going to see you at your lowest, somebody who's going to see you when you need to ask for forgiveness from them.
Sure.
Somebody who's going to see how you love their mother, somebody who's going to see you when you win. Does your head get big? How's your ego, right? I'm like, man, like this girl is going to see all of me. She's not like my wife, who's an adult, who's also lived.
Yeah.
This one, her, when she's grown one day and she says, I've lived, I'm going to be part of those stories as her dad. And I'm like, yeah, I get why you would leave, man. Because that is, man, that's major. It's a privilege.
It's a privilege.
But it's major responsibility, man. And that's why I'm like, like we shouldn't take it lightly.
Yeah.
Just the privilege and the responsibility of being a dad. And because we can't take it lightly, I get why. I get why some people would snap. I'm not saying it's right at all. My dad shouldn't have left, at all. But there was a part of me that was, and I wouldn't even say empathetic. I was sympathetic. I was like, man, I get it.
So is this where the podcast comes in?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, for real, bro.
Sure.
Yeah.
So actually tell us about what's the podcast called? And I feel I need to have you here again.
Yeah.
Producers like time and
we've spoken about everything.
Man, this is
it might feel like nothing.
Now, what's the heart behind it? Where can people tune in? I mean, you can see here that this is a young black man who's been through like a very real sum up experience of the current struggles of the black family, especially in South Africa. We're coming into money. There isn't examples. Families are being split up by their so-called blessings. We have young men navigating life by themselves. The role model is not there. You find Jesus. You think it's sorted. Because sometimes, man, these guys who lead you to Christ, man, they make it sound like, okay, everything is covered now.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just the start of your healing.
It is, bro.
And so where do we find you for that fatherly conversation? Name of the podcast, all of that.
So the pod is called That Husband. Just two words, That Husband Podcast.
Okay.
So if you just search for That Husband, you'll find it anywhere you listen to podcasts, or if you watch podcasts, it's definitely on YouTube.
Wow.
So you'll find it there. Man, and I think my whole story is why I created the pod.
Church-wise, where do we find you?
So I'm actually in a transition now, bro.
Okay.
For the past 11 years, I was at Christ Church Midrand.
Okay.
So some people confuse it with the Church of Christ, but it's Christ Church Midrand. There's a bunch of Christ churches. So there's a Christ Church Tshwane, we have Christ Church Midrand, Christ Church, Bulgari. There's Christ churches everywhere.
Okay.
So that's where I was. We're in May now. So April was my last month.
Wow. So you're really starting a new page and
so we're praying to see where the Lord will take us next. I didn't think I was going to leave. Thought I'd leave in a casket.
11 years later.
11 years later, man.
Sure.
And it's without getting into too much detail on that part, but we just came to a realization that God is calling us to a different place.
Bookings. How do we book you, my brother?
Yeah, so booking.
I mean, you sound like there's a lot, eh?
Yeah.
There's a lot of meat.
There's tons, bro.
Yeah.
There's tons, man. Drop me an email at booking@blacknewborn.com.
Okay.
That's booking at BLAQUENUBON.com. So booking at Black Newborn, So you can book me to speak, preach. So, or you can book me to facilitate or MC. So that's what I do as well.
Okay. Do you still do music?
No,
No,
I don't, bro. Yeah.
So we can book you to come drop bars.
Yeah, no.
Guys, just book him to drop bars. Man.
Nah.
The guy has bars.
Nah, bro.
Let's revive that thing.
You'll see if you see me rap.
This guy has bars. That's all me I know. I don't know this guy is a podcaster. This is a rapper.
Yeah.
With a white beard.
Yeah. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
No, Black, it was amazing having you here.
Thanks, brother.
Man, I loved this conversation.
Yeah,
I loved this conversation. I want to see you again.
Please, bro.
And this is why I chose to call this podcast Complex Humanity, because our heroes are humans.
Yep.
And we want to see them as artists, as pastors, as podcasters, but no.
Yeah.
They come with everything, man.
Come on, bro.
They come with everything.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you, man. And thank you, bro, for all the work that you've done over the years, bro. And it's very encouraging. And an encouragement that's strengthening to still see you doing work for the kingdom and wanting to help people. I'm not here if it wasn't for you as well.
Man.
There's stuff you've done that propelled me in my journey with art and the Lord. And earlier on. And you know that story.
Yeah, man.
You know that story. And you were gracious.
We were skinny.
And you were very gracious and loving, bro. And I'll till today, I'll never take that for granted. I'll tell you something off camera about that story. But thank you and shout outs to you, man.
No, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Black.
Cool, bro.
It's all love, my brother.
Appreciate it, man.
Fellow fathers.
Come on. Come on.
We better get them wives. We are coming for you.
Come on, bro.
Oh, man. This is us wrapping up. It's all love. See you next time.
Cheers, man.
Au revoir.